Hello there, you're now with me, Handy Gui, for TVS News at 5. Now, to the headlining stories. Those intending to purchase petrol and diesel in large quantities and exceeding 20 litres would require a special permit under Supply Control Act 1961 that grants them the entitlement. Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Dr. Sri Alexander Nantalinggi said the measure is to avoid misuse of controlled and subsidized items such as petrol and diesel for personal use.
This comes after a public notice by the ministry which states that consumers are prohibited from buying petrol and diesel in containers of plastic drums made rounds online. Nanta clarified that no permit is required to purchase petrol and diesel under the stated 20 litres limit and in emergency cases. Nanta added the permit is free of charge and can be applied online via My Subsidy Permit HAS system or by visiting any nearby KPDN HEP office. Additionally, only selected sectors such as forklift users, agricultural and farming sectors, food industry entrepreneurs, rural residents, water transport users and part-time fishermen are those granted with the permit.
Now, accessibility to households located in the remote and interior areas are among the issues and challenges faced in implementing the Additional Late Applicant Fund or ALAF, while another issue faced is izin lalu or seeking permission from landowners to connect electricity. Despite all the hurdle, a total of 8,000 of the 40,000 applicants with electricity supply have been connected successfully.
Julaihi explained that with the remaining 32,000 applications, there might be new applications coming in for those with newly built houses. Adding to that, he said that the connections are mainly in the rural areas to the new houses built by extended families and houses in the newly open areas. With that, he said the electricity coverage in Sarawak is now almost at 99%.
Tetapi kita merasakan bahawa bilangan ini mungkin tidak mencukupi untuk mengendalikan permohonan daripada 40,000 isi rumah di seluruh Sarawak. Jadi kita berharap dapat meningkatkan bilangan competent person dengan bekerjasama dengan SCB. How should we increase the number of competent person so that kita dapat melaksanakan tugas dengan cepat, dengan mudah di masa yang akan datang.
As such, to solve the issue, his ministry organized a 2-day workshop which was attended by 140 participants from government agencies such as the State Financial Secretary's Office, Unit Pendaftaran Kontraktor Juru Runding UPKJ, elected representatives, electrical consultants, contractors and representatives from the ministry and Sarawak Energy SEB. The ALAF initiative, funded by the Sarawak government, was initially allocated 80 million ringgit in 2018, in which an additional 150 million ringgit was submitted for additional allocation.
In a bid to restore the country's tourism sector, some constraints such as single-entry visas need to be taken into account. Tourism, Arts and Culture Minister Dr. Sri Nancy Shukri said the current policy should be reviewed and multiple entry visas for foreign travellers visiting Malaysia should be considered. She added that a review of the current policy should help see an increase in tourist arrivals in Malaysia.
The ministry had written to a Home Affairs Ministry on the matter.
Because they come in to Kuala Lumpur. After that, they go naik cruise, for example lah, naik cruise pergi Singapore. Nak balik lagi ke Malaysia. We want to encourage that, but they can't come in because of the visa entry itu cuma single. So we depend so much on KDN now. We hope that they will pertimbangkan supaya dapat dipermudahkan visa itu.
She told a press conference after officiating the 23rd Asian Subcommittee on Culture meeting and the 11th Asian Plus 3 Cultural Cooperation Network meeting APTCCN on Thursday, July 28.
Actually, secara informal lah berbincang dengan menterinya. So in a way it is already been discussed dan diharapkan akan dijadikan satu dasar sementara lah for Malaysia because we need more tourists to come in.
Malaysia recorded a total of 4.5 million tourists into the country so far, and the number will be reassessed in September later.
Welcome back. Now, according to the World Health Organization, WHO, rabies is a vaccine-preventable viral disease that occurs in more than 150 countries and territories. Dogs are the main source of human rabies death, contributing up to 99% of all rabies transmissions to humans. When an exposure occurred, the likelihood of rabies infection varies with the nature and extent of that exposure. Under most circumstances, two categories of exposure, namely the provoked and unprovoked bite, should be taken seriously. Today, we are once again joined by the Department of Veterinary Services DVS Sarawak Director, Dr. Adrian Susin Ambut, regarding the potential exposure of rabies through bites. Now, Dr. Adrian, can you describe to the general public regarding provoked and unprovoked bites?
Normally, dog or cat that bite, two type. There is a provoked bite or unprovoked bite. The one is that very high risk is the unprovoked bite. The unprovoked bite, probably the animal already infected with rabies. That's why it become very aggressive and start biting. So this is the unprovoked bite. Higher in percentage of most likely getting rabies is the unprovoked bite lah. Sometimes dog also biting if they are provoked. Sometimes the dog is, if they are not familiar with a stranger, they will bite also lah. But this is what we call unprovoked bite. A lot of stray dog on the street that infected with rabies, it become very aggressive. So it normally bite anything that move. So this is quite dangerous. We know that, but if on that also we would like to advise owner to vaccinate their pets, especially dog, especially the free roaming dog, to vaccinate their pet. So once their dog is protected, their pet is protected, this will low risk of getting rabies infection because it's already infected. So for pet owner, it is compulsory under Veterinary Public Health Ordinance 1999, Section 40, that all dog owner in Sarawak should vaccinate their dog against rabies. This is mandatory under Section 40. We need to vaccinate at least 70% of the dog population in Sarawak to break rabies chance of infection.
As of now, there are 20 areas in Sarawak that have had rabies cases recorded from January to March 19, 2020. And according to the Minister for Modernization of Agricultural and Regional Development, that is Dr. Stephen Rundi Utom, the areas are within a 10 kilometers radius of the previously declared rabies-infected areas, which was last declared in July 2021. As of now, over 70% coverage of the estimated 250,000 dog population in Sarawak are vaccinated. DVS plan to vaccinate at least 50,000 dogs statewide in the fight against the virus, as the fatality rate is certain once signs or symptoms of the disease begin. Doctor, what are the crucial steps needed to be taken in the event a person is bitten by a suspected rabid animal?
That is why we have yearly mass vaccination campaign, and public advised to join this campaign. Or you can also go to any nearest veterinary office in Sarawak. We have all the veterinary office throughout the division, throughout Sarawak, and get your free anti-rabies vaccination for your dog. So we do during office hours. So you can get your dog vaccinated. For those who vaccinate their pet to the private veterinary clinic, you can do so also to private veterinary clinic to get your pet vaccinated. So that is the advice to dog owner or pet owner. For those who get bitten, as I was mentioned earlier, you need to go to hospital to get further treatment. Don't wait until the symptom appear. If the symptom appear, it's already too late. Too late already. And normally, patient with symptom will die within 2 to 10 days when the symptom appear. There is no treatment. So please, if you get bitten or scratched by pets or any animal, wildlife, wash the wound with running water for 15 minutes, and then you should go to hospital to get further treatment.
Sarawak aims to achieve zero rabies in humans next year and zero rabies in dogs by 2025. And according to the Deputy Premier of Sarawak, Dr. Amar Douglas Uga Umbas, the state government is committed to eliminating rabies and had provided the required funding, personnel and logistics to combat the viral disease. From my understanding, a total of 7.07 million ringgit has been allocated under the Plan of Action for Rabies Control and Eradication Program starting in the year 2021. Now, aside from mass vaccination and stricter enforcement of Veterinary Public Health Ordinance 1999, licensing by law and control of movement of dogs, what other various initiatives have been implemented in helping the state government to achieve its aim, perhaps by establishing better synergies?
If we can maintain our vaccination at 70%, then we can eradicate rabies. Our objective is by 2025, there will be no more dog positive rabies in Sarawak. That is our target. So we are working very, very closely with other agencies to help Sarawak achieve rabies free by 2030, such as the council, Ministry of Local Government, to maintain dog population in the city, and we have also established immune belt enforcement team to help to establish immune belt along the border from Sematan up to Limbang. So with collaboration with Unit Penguatkuasaan Sarawak, UKPN. And we also have our MOH, our medical team that also helping us to treat patients with dog bite. And there is an integrated bite management clinic available. And also continuously doing public awareness campaign, such as through social media, putting up billboard, radio and TV, village to village talk, and so on. So this is the campaign. If we want the public to aware, if you are bitten, you have to go to hospital and get further treatment. Rabies can be prevented, and rabies can be prevented. But if you don't get vaccination, and once the symptom appear, it almost always fatal.
Well, thank you, Dr. Adrian, for your insights on the matter. That's all the time we have for TVS News at 5. I'm Handy Gui. Thank you for watching.